can't stand the heat to get out the wild. When I roll into the Wild West, when I stroll into the Wild West, when I bounce into the Wild West, we're going straight to the Wild West. We're going straight to the Wild West. We're going straight to the Wild West.
Welcome everybody, it's WildWest Stacker. You're on the Saturday morning premiere train. Thanks so much for stopping by our crazy train. We certainly appreciate it. We have fun on these Saturday mornings, and we hope you do too. Treat them like Saturday morning cartoons when you were a child, right? Great fun. All right, so today I'm going to share with you my cool little mini monster box I have. Looks like I got a different lid for it, but I bought a bunch of these empty boxes. You can see these ones were Australian kangaroos, and I must have mixed up the top with another one. No big deal. All these out of the New Zealand Mint. Use the same boxes, and right here at the top you could see they have the mintage. I think this one even said it was like 250 is what it holds. Oh, there we go, 250. So pretty cool, but I don't have them in tubes. Nope, they're just loosely stacked in capsules in here, so I can just reach in, grab whatever. I mean, I got a mix of 1 ounces, 2 ounces, all sorts of stuff. So we're gonna go over that here shortly. But first, I just want to let everybody know, if you're here and you're a stacker, that means you have one trait that probably 99% of the world out there does not have. What is that trait, you ask? It's discipline. Yes, I know it seems hard, right? But just to acquire this shiny stuff, the beautiful silver or gold even, it takes a lot of discipline. I know right now in the United States, they say that the average person couldn't afford a surprise $1,000 emergency bill, or even $500. I've actually seen it as low as. But when you start to think about that, that's really not that much silver or gold. $1,000 is a half an ounce of gold, or what, 40 ounces of silver roughly at the current gold to silver ratio, and that's not that much. So what I've realized is all of us stackers, if you stick with it, that means you have a trait that is very desirable. Discipline is very hard to find nowadays. And with that, I would even say some patience, because unless you're super rich and you're buying up big tubes or even monster boxes at a time, when you acquire the silver, it is going to be a slow and steady process. It takes years. It's not something you do 1 or 2 months even. You're going to be doing this for some time to try to stack it up and preserve your wealth. I believe most of us actually do that. We don't think that this is going to make us super rich one day or anything like that. It's just a way to preserve your wealth. And once we start training the average consumer out there that that's what this is about, it's not about going to $2,000 an ounce or $20,000 an ounce, anything like that, that really this is just a storage of wealth. Oh, but look at that beautiful coin. We got to say hi to that one. Jeez. Now, these came out in 2020, and if you were like me and picked one up, a lot of them were scratched, dinged up. They looked horrible. This is one that I picked up that actually looks really good. Man, the Kraken is just popping there. And so I put him in a capsule. My other one I have loose, trying to tone it. And I'm finding out the Canadian Mint Shield ID does take a while to tone. But man, that's a cool coin. Now let's just quick talk about investing real quick, because everybody wants to call silver an investment, and I do not like that term. I like to call it a transfer, like you're transferring your money from one form to another, or it's a storage or a savings account. That's the best way to look at it. Now, me personally, I have never been a huge saving person, and that means in the US dollar in cash. It's hard to save it. You always want to spend. And one thing I have found over these years is when I'm saving silver, that is so much easier to save than cash in the bank. A vacation might come up and it's real easy to just spend some extra money here and there. But the silver, oh no, you will not want to spend your silver. In fact, one thing that my wife and I have noticed is any extra purchase we're making, let's just say is a TV, maybe something, I don't know, or for around the house, maybe I do vacuum cleaner. But any item now, when I look at it, I say, geez, do you know how much silver that is? And she does the same thing. It's like your brain starts to click and refire, and everything starts getting put in these crazy ounces. Those tigers of Cambodia, cool. And so what ends up happening is you're like, man, if silver is down to like right now, it's what, about $25 an ounce you could pick it up for? And that's a screaming deal. And so if you see something for $100, you might be like, wow, maybe I don't need that. That's 4 ounces of silver. And so it changes your thinking. So it goes back into this whole discipline thing. It's changing your mindset. It's reprogramming it, getting out of only the fiat currency, which, by the way, most people out there, if you tell them fiat currency, they'll actually ask you, what is fiat? And no, it's not fix it again, Tony, for the old fiat cars out there. And so you have to kind of explain to them how our whole money process works in the world and how money is created. And it's basically all nonsense nowadays. And it's really scary to tell random people that, because how do you tell somebody that your money is just printed out of thin air, out of nothing? So I think that all the stackers out there, you definitely have patience, my friends. And I hope you're seeing that all of your discipline is going to pay off. And so let's talk about the investments. So when I was looking up gold and silver, the most curious thing I found was, let's say that you decided to sell all your silver. So this entire box I decided to sell today. I would actually have to pay taxes on that. That's right, because silver and gold are considered collectibles by the government. And so under collectibles, they fall under the capital gains tax. And so anytime you sell this, you're going to pay the capital gains tax on your earnings. Ooh, Granada, love it. So, I mean, is that good? Is it bad? The best way I would say to look at that then is, we'll just take a look at a kookaburra here. So let's say I bought this for $20. I didn't, it was more than that. And then I sell it for $30, so I make $10 on it. I'm still gonna have to pay taxes, what is it, 28% or something, 30% basically, on that $10. Yikes. So it does really add into the cost a lot. But remember, if you're not looking at it as an investment, and instead you're looking at all this stuff as a collectible item, just like the government deems it, then you're not going to have any issue, because it's not like a 401k where you need to get a 400% return on your investment to actually be making money. Ugh, don't get me into the 401ks right now. Ugh, not really happy about those. Anyways, let's talk more about this beautiful silver stuff. And that's actually my first point, is when a lot of people look at this, almost like Aphrodite, they just see something that's beautiful and shiny. I watch a lot of other YouTube videos, and in fact I was watching a guy named Silver Star Eagles. Great new channel, he's getting subs pretty quick, and he made a post about, you know, the political system is manipulated, everything's manipulated, and he's exactly right. But most of the world is not awake to that yet. In his comments I was reading, there were people there saying, why would anybody want silver? It's just a dumb shiny metal. And boy, doesn't that explain the general public to a T? It's just a shiny metal. It's no different than some stainless steel, or maybe some polished up brass or something, right? Like the mindsets of these people is just insane. And one thing about my channel I like to do is actually show how magical this is. It's not just a metal. Silver is the most conductive electrical material in the world. It's also capable of purifying water. We've shown that before in my Berkey video, where I actually put a 1 ounce round inside my Berkey, and we show with a little electrical tester that it totally does purify the water. It lowered the parts per million. I think it lowered it by like 10 parts per million or something, and it only was in there for 15, 20 seconds. So it's just insane that people will think that, oh man, it's just so useless. It's just a shiny metal that we can make look pretty. And let's just bring up one thing that, here we go. I love showing off this knife, and this is the one from the 1800s. That, yes, I have still never seen a knife to this day with as much detail. Even on like the midsection there, they've got engravings all the way around. And yes, back then, this is not a stainless steel knife. This entire knife is made of sterling silver, which, remember, it's 92.5% silver, and the other percent is copper, usually to make it up. And this was a woman's knife that she would have carried in her pocket, her purse, her person. And a lot of people are like, man, what's that for? For shanking somebody? No. This is actually the fruit pick the nut pick. So you would pick the nuts out of your fruit with this, and then you would cut your fruit. This thing actually even has a little bit of an edge still. Now if you look, let's try to get this here. You will see there we go, some engravings. There's a lion, an anchor, and I can't see the one on the right, but that will actually stamp the date, the factory, and I believe it's the decade. And so this one was from, I believe, the 1837 series, and it was out of a place out of England where it was made. But just stunning detail. And they knew the power of silver back then. They knew that, hey, if I cut my fruit with this knife, no big deal with any bugs or anything like that, because the silver will purify as it cuts through the fruit, because it's that amazing of a metal. Anything it comes into contact with, it turns that into a purifier basically. So if it touches copper, that's a purifier. If you're wearing a gold ring, oh, I'm missing my ring today. Let's say you're wearing a gold ring. More than likely that gold is not pure and it has some silver in it. So when the silver touches the gold, guess what? It gets all of the antibacterial properties that silver does, although gold already has it as well, kind of like copper, but still, you can mix and match it with all sorts of things. So even back then, in the 1800s, people knew the importance of silver. And that's one thing that we've all been led astray, is we're not told the true value of this beautiful, amazing, oh, it's so cool. I try to tell all my friends about it, all my family. They think I'm crazy. That's okay. I like being crazy. Call me crazy all you want. And now, one of my collectibles that I like is this Yeti 3-ouncer from Monarch Precious Metals. And you can see it's got the 164 out of 999, and I really like the stamp down here. You can really see it, like, kind of got this like design on the 3 fine silver, like where it's a scraping. Pretty cool. And it is getting a little toned, gotten some shade going on. There we go. Not as good as Pirate Stackers. He's down in Florida. I'm in the dry heat out in Wyoming, so he's gonna have the advantage there on me, but that's okay. It'll take a few years and we're gonna get some cool colors on it. Oh yes, the maple leaf. That's a beautiful one. And now this coin, they come in 1.5 ounce and 2 ounce. I guess I'm gonna have to pick up the 2 ounce. I don't have that one yet. Oh, so many cool coins and rounds, folks. I mean, there's just always great silver to pick up. And in fact, one of my favorite ones is the Britannia. I've said that many times, mainly because of the security. You can see it locked out right there. You twist it again and you might get a trident if you hold it at the right angle. But either way, amazing piece. I really like it. And these I would pick up heavily, even though I know the Keen is now on there. So something to think about. All right, everybody. Well, my time is up. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you have discipline and you could become a stacker too, because anybody can do this. It just takes a little patience and some willpower. All right. Now, everybody have a great day. This is Wild West, saying have a good one.